With few hours for Nigerians to go to the polls on what is seen as potential turning point for Africa's most populous country, it's the 6th election since the halt of military rule in 1999. It's an exercise that involves enormous expenditure. Yes, this is 2023 election countdown, reaching you from the Informer 24/7. Being the last edition, there will be no stakeholder interview or street interview. It is just me and my partner, Yemi, and then we will be analyzing the atmosphere of the coming election. So how do you do it?
Fine, thank you very much for having me here. It's nice to join you in the studio. You have been doing a great job since the countdown episodes actually began, and then it has been more revealing and more edifying in the sense that the people have been further educated and we have been further given a lot of orientation as far as the election is concerned.
And then we'll go on a short break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. All right, Yemi Sadiq. Nigeria election 2023. What are the issues and why is it different if you think it is different?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an election like no other. Of course, it is a turning point in our history, and we're having different dimensions coming into the election this time around. One most important thing that I have discovered, lately is the fact that we now have an increased and improved electoral literacy, whereby the choices of people have actually been widened, and the scope at which people see the elections or the political gladiators has actually changed. So these and many other factors will be playing out tomorrow. It is just one. It is just one of the elections that will be coming up. Of course, there will be another one March 11th. That's on 2 weeks to tomorrow. So I think we're going to be seeing a different election this time around. Of course, with attendant challenges, circumstances, and values. So I see people actually voting along ethnicity and religious lines tomorrow, which particularly do not represent this so much this so much democratic principles that we seem to be preaching or be practicing in the country. So I think that represents as some of the weaknesses that is going to be playing out tomorrow. I said that. So yes, the electoral violence is also there. I believe the security agencies are out there, making sure that things go as planned. But there's no how we're not going to be experiencing handful or pockets of violence, no matter how small. But I think what really matters is that the security agencies must be well prepared, must be proactive to make sure that they curtail any movements. Well, I should also mention the fact that there's one of the weakness of our electoral system is vote buying. Yes, I think the federal government or the government and the INEC and other institutions of government have prepared so much to actually prevent and preempt, so to say, the vote buying. It represents one of the threats to electoral principles and systems and democratic values that we ought to stand for, or that the country should be practicing. Vote buying is there. Politicians, I think all of them, there have been accounts of all politicians buying votes. And yes, we cannot really say that will happen tomorrow or that will not happen, but I think it's one of the weaknesses that has come to stay with our electoral process. So, and by the measure that has not been put in place, just this morning we have seen arrests being made of an honorable representative, of a federal representative, member in Rivers State. But some money were discovered.
There is another one in Lagos.
There's another one in Lagos that also happened. So I think all in all, we're hoping to see an election that is free, fair, and credible, but notwithstanding its shortcomings, which will perhaps actually give us a new dimension into how we're going to be managing, organizing our elections going forward.
Still on the factors that could hinder this election, electoral violence, vote buying has been some of the key issues of yesteryear's election. But now we have a scarcity of naira, which has added tension around this poll. Still, we have the sit-at-home order by the Southeast. which definitely will affect this smooth election. What do you have to say about that?
Yes, when you say the sit at home, the sit at home order, so to say, that has been peddled around by the independent people of indigenous people of Biafra, POB, the separatist movement, so to say, is going to be playing out as one of the threats to the elections, to the credibility of the elections. But I think the Nigerian government is actually ready, and we have seen federal government deploying, all the security apparatus, all the security, agencies to actually go and ensure that the election is free, credible, is free, fair, and credible. But yet we are faced with this one of the security challenges that are itemized earlier on as one of the factors. But I think that will not definitely, imply that we're not going to be having elections. I can tell you that we are going to be having those elections, even that's because you don't expect the federal government of Nigeria to compromise this transition process that the country so much look forward to, that and that we believe in. Yes, they ordered the so-called sit at home during the last number of elections, and the election went on, and a candidate emerged. So I do not see that actually play out. Of course, it may actually play out as one of the factors that may hinder the interest of people to actually come out, but yet I do not see that totally defining the political atmosphere or the electoral process. Come.
And speaking of this naira scarcity and fuel scarcity, people out there have been complaining bitterly about it. Like, they've not been able to travel. There's no money. There's no fuel. There is increase in transport fare. I think that these factors will affect people from coming out to vote.
Yes, of course it will affect people, because when you don't have money, you cannot really move around. You cannot really go to a lot of places that you actually intend to go. A lot of states actually declared today, Friday, as a free working day. But yet, if you still go around, you discover that people are still cash strapped. Like, people still stay on the automated teller machines, ATM, trying to get money. And of course, we still see large number of them still on the queue, not getting the money. So it will go a long way. So I think we should not actually expect that the fact that we have over 93 million people registered voters, we want to see over 93 million people also voting tomorrow. I don't think it's good. I think we've not really had it. If you look at the election history in Nigeria,
that is part of
it has always been the gap that has existed, and the voters' apathy is always there. So it is going to affect, the fact that people will not be able to move from one end to the other. But yet, I still believe the election will go on, although the figure that we are expecting in terms of the population that might not be up to what we really expected.
Might not be up to what we've been having before.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Tinubu's party, APC, covers 21 states among the 36 that we have.
And in terms of having a governor,
yes,
a sitting governor.
So Peter Obi has enjoyed the goodwill of the youth, especially on social media.
Yeah.
Atiku is considered as the strongest northerner among the contenders, and then Kwankwaso is said to be weak among them, although popular in the north. So, briefly, what is the chances of winning among the top contenders?
I think their chances of winning lie with Nigerians. Nigeria will have to make their choices, whether we like it or not, whether the candidate like it or not. And now the campaign has actually ended. Nobody should campaign now, because the Electoral Act says that, and people will go out tomorrow. But in terms of chances, we've seen every single candidate is actually vulnerable in one part, and also bearing some strength in another part. So I think what is going to play out is the fact that you have to explore your strengths so very well, and also you have to also explore your vulnerabilities. If you can actually change it, maybe overnight. So there could be miracles.
Exactly.
And this is politics. Anything is can go, and then as far as they know how to play the game. I know some of these politicians or some of the candidates are actually in situation room now, monitoring situations. And 36 states, Federal Capital Territory, and you are going to be expecting over 170 something thousand polling units where leaders will be elected. In terms of chances, I would say we have major 4 candidates. Their chances are, we have 2 northerners, we have 2 southerners. That is just the practical truth and the simplest truth. Now the southerners, that's why I said earlier that we will be voting along religion and ethnic biases tomorrow, sentiment if you want me to use that word. Tomorrow. So we have 2 northerners, we have 2 southerners. It depends on how they work, how the northerners have actually worked to gain followership in the south. That will determine if is a northern candidate now will be banking on his region. That's the real truth. Will be banking on his kinsmen. That's the real truth. A southerner will also be banking on his own kinsmen too. So now there will be a meeting point. The meeting point or the melting point is actually what Nigerians want. So that's going to be the ultimate decider. And I believe the fact that these candidates have actually done their work, even though you cannot actually assume that they themselves cannot actually say they are perfect. They have done their work, but their chances, to me, I think we're going to be having an election that is going to be very tight, and it has also been muted in some quarters that we might be going for the runoff, because
I was about to ask that as well.
If a candidate fails to actually garner the percentage of votes that is expected of him as far as the election is concerned, we might be going for it. And if you look at it, 2 southerners and 2 northerners. So if the northerners actually divide the vote amongst themselves and the southerners also divide the vote among themselves, I do not see any of the candidates having
more chance,
the certain percentage that is needed to win the election in the first place. That's just my own predictions, and we might be, for the first time in the history of our country, be going for a runoff elections. And I think INEC is prepared for this. But in election, mathematics come, and then runoff election might just be
possible.
Imminent.
Well, it is what it is. Tomorrow, in fact, few hours time, Nigerians will decide. There is lots and lots to talk about, but we do not have the luxury of time. You can visit our website or all our social media handles to check more information. And the Informer 24/7 is delighted to tell you that we have been accredited by Independent National Electoral Commission to cover tomorrow's election. So we will be giving you up-to-date informations all on our social media handles. Do not forget to follow us. And that is how we'll be taken for today. This is me and my partner saying goodbye. Do stay safe, abide by the rules, and God bless Nigeria. So Yemi,
thank you very much for sticking with us. As she said, our social media will be buzzing with all the information as regards to the elections. Play your part, vote for your preferred candidate, and don't cause any trouble. God bless Nigeria.